Hello all and welcome to Northern Europe's least favorite enduro channel. Least favorite because we're just getting started and we're also going to keep this for Northern Europe mainly. So most of the content is in Swedish, but today I had an opportunity to do something a little bit different that I figured it warrants a video in English. Because I remembered I dabble a little bit in English and I have an interesting product that hasn't gathered that much visibility. Step back though, the enduro riding I do is in the trails just south of Stockholm, which are very rocky. Punctures aplenty, actually, in fact, two of them on my last two rides, one each, and I figured, okay, I'm done with inner tubes. I was actually done with inner tubes after the first one because in the what I've been riding 5-10 years in total, I've actually never had a puncture before. Okay, so I just started doing these super technical things. So immediately, and I figured, okay, this is just gonna get worse. Heavy duty tubes, not really interested. Tubeless, well, being able to adjust air pressures on the go is super cool, very useful, but then I remembered I've probably never done it before. I'd like to try it, but I'm not knocking it, but I was thinking not super crucial for me right now. So I landed in mousses. They were invented by Michelin back in the 80s, and the idea is you have an insert in the tire, which even where you normally get a puncture, I mean, unless the tire actually splits in half, you'll be able to keep riding. And these were made from the Paris-Dakar rally for the motorcycles initially, if I'm not very much mistaken. So the product I have is an interesting one because it was from a company I'd never heard of before. It's in this not so little box because it's an 18-inch tire insert. It's made in Italy by a company called Risemousse. They're using materials and technologies not used by anybody else, so they claim this is a wholly proprietary thing they have going on with technopolymers, which is just a fancy word for fancy plastic or rubber or whatever. The usual stuff applies to these, not for road use, not to be used in temperatures above 30 degrees, which is not really a problem in Sweden ever. And not for road use because higher speeds will melt them. This is a regular mousse. The other box, which is in the back, which we'll get to, says Climber. That one has special inserts, which means it kind of goes a little bit of the way to to allow for some adjustment in the pressure. I will show you how that works later on. But it's not exactly like the tubeless system, but it's inserts you can actually remove from the mousse. But I figured I'll unpack these and talk you through it as I go along, so follow me. So for a lot of you, a mousse is nothing new. For me, it's actually the first time. I've heard about them, I've read about them to quite an extent, but I have never held one in my hand previously. So I figured what we'll do is we'll pop this on the side, and as I said, this is the regular enduro mousse. This comes in two sizes for the rear wheel, one size for the front. So the front wheel mousse it covers both 80, 100 and 90, 21 inch. And the rear one, you have a specific one for the 120 mil wide and one for the 140. So this is the 120, which I believe it says right there. 120, 90, 18. And I think this was fairly easy. You just pop it open like so. Taking care not to knock things over in my living room. And out comes a mousse, empty box now, completely regular mousse as far as I can tell. It says Risemousse, Italy 2K18, which is when they were founded, I suppose. Made in Italy, patented. So they've done something different. Maybe I can wear this when I go swimming. Probably doesn't float. And actually this is getting in the way a little bit, I have to admit. It wasn't as clever as I thought. One little tube of the lubricant or the gel you need in a sealed bag, and it's actually sticky. So in case the tube breaks in transport, it will contain itself, but it doesn't really matter when it's already sticky on the outside. Again, Risemousse branding, Italy 2K18. Gel siliconio atossico. So atossico, this does not say anything whatsoever in English. It says it's confezionato da Almogel Siliconico. So Almogel has manufactured this, and atossico, atoxic? Probably not. My Italian is not very good, but silicone gel to lubricate it as you shove it in the tire. This would be the regular offering. I will put this here on the couch because it's not ruined just yet. This box though is much more interesting. I will do this in one take because I'm crazy and or stupid. This is actually, I'll pop this back in the other box. So this was the one that was on the outside in the shipment. This is a little bit more battered, but I'm not going to hold that against Risemousse. I will rather complain about PostNord in Sweden. This one, as you see, it says Climber here. It's also the 140. It's for the wider, super wide. It's also available in 120mm. Both of these are available in both sizes. I should also speak about the pressures and weights of these things. So the regular Enduro, the rear tire I have here, the 120, the Mousse I have, that weighs 1,395 grams and it gives you a pressure of roughly 0.6, 0.7 bar. These are also available in motocross options. These are the Enduro ones. The front ones, I have a pair of them as well. I figured they're all black and round. So they give you slightly higher pressure. They weigh 935 grams and they come in a pressure of equivalent to 0.7, 0.8 bars. Not bars. So the Climber is much more interesting, except having a blue, it's not blue, it's purple. Having a purple sticker, it also has the whole reason I actually wanted to talk about these things. The reason I got interested in Risemousse, it's these blue inserts here. They are actually removable, and same thing here. Otherwise, if I just take a step back, off-road only, Risemousse, made in Italy. It doesn't say Italy 2K18. Actually, it does in the logo. Not super important. But these blue inserts, you can actually remove them. Not on the fly, obviously, because these are going to be sitting inside the wheel, so a little bit more difficult. But they have things that look like this, and once you remove them, they allow for more flex. So, in essence, what you have here is one mousse that can span from, let me check so I don't say too much or mess this up, from 0.4, 0.5 bar with all these inserts removed, all the way up to 0.91 bar with all them inserted. And in between, I mean, you can do the math yourself. You just remove them and linearly you will span the gap, so to speak. These are slightly heavier than the regular mousse. These are slightly lubricated as well, so they go in. But as you can see, we have, I think I can illustrate this with my fingers. There's more flex there than there is here. So, pretty clever construction if it holds up. These are fairly new. They're not even listed in the web shop. So, this is the whole reason I got in touch with Risemousse, and that's how we're watching this video right now. So, weight for this, the 140/80/18 version of the Climber, I should say the Climber they're available in rear tires only for now, as far as I could tell on the product pages. Weight 1,950 grams with all these inserts inserted. That is 300 grams more, 335 grams more specified weight compared to the regular Enduro mousse. And without them, it's actually, hold on, does this make sense? They're actually lighter because there's less material. So in case you want to run the super low pressures at half a bar, these should weigh in at 1,495 grams for the 140mm wide, whereas the regular Enduro version weighs another 120 grams. So that's pretty cool, I'd say. There's also these, they call it, what was it, the Extreme. I don't have them because I don't do that extreme of an Enduro riding. But it's basically, you know, like the tire balls, but it's one mousse, which is even lower pressure and should give you more low down traction, so to speak. So I feel like I've covered most of it. Did I? I did, except I didn't mention the weights for the climber in the 120 mil wide, which is the one I don't have. This is 140, but 120 without the inserts is 1275 grams and 1730 grams, and the span is from 0.4 to 0.5. They specify that because I suspect it's not super. It depends on temperatures and such, but that's the lowest you will go without any of these inserts, and up to 0.9 to 1 bar. So I think this is a pretty cool solution, and I can't wait to give this a go and tell you more about my impressions. For now, let's just basically an unboxing. I just wanted to see what's what, and I'm grateful for Risemousse for the opportunity to actually show you these, because that was a surprise, I admit. So either way, that's it for me for this time. I'll get back to you when I have actually tested these and give you some first impressions from the trails. Thanks for watching.